I am at Bristol Gaming Collective. We've got a 6th edition fantasy event going on, and yeah, it's all geared up for our first game. I was supposed to be bringing my dwarves for this, that I played the practice game against Michael with in the battle report video that you've hopefully already seen. Then I realised that this is the Geheimnisnacht event, set in October, and I kind of went, Geheimnisnacht, that's like on Halloween. I've got to do a vampire army. So I foolishly set myself the task of painting an entire Vampire Counts Army in 3 weeks. I've got it, as you can probably see, most of the way done. The only things that aren't quite finished, the bats aren't quite done, the wolves aren't quite finished, but pretty much everything else is done, that I'm pretty chuffed with. My first game is going to be a meeting engagement, so we've done the whole kind of marching order march onto the board, and my opponent Gur is using his demons. Let's take a quick look here. I am somewhat concerned about the amount of magical effects in this army, and it's not going to do my ethereal stuff much good.
Not a good day to be a spirit host against this.
No, they've died once. They may well die again.
I should have put the Nurglings against them for the battle of our time.
It's fine, we can have the Nurglings versus the Banshee for the embarrassment of the Banshee going, I'm going to Banshee. Oh no, I'm dead. But so, okay, we're going to dive in. Gur's got first turn. He's just going to decide if he's going first or second. First or second?
I'm going to go first.
Going to go first. So we'll crack on with that, and we will catch up back with you all after the first turn. Okay, so end of turn 1. The demons have advanced across the board. If we just sweep the camera down here, you can see the flesh hounds currently trying to use the terrain to stop them from having to make a charge if unnecessary. The demonettes advanced were blatted by a gaze and a gash from the sort of witch. It's only left 3 left. The Demon Prince has got the flaming sword of Rune, so he's now got this massive kind of burning blade in his hand, Balrog style. The rest of the unit, again, the Nurglings are doing a sterling job charge blocking the corn units. Imagine this wall of Nurglings kind of going, wait, everybody wait! I've swept my army around the flanks. I've taken advantage of the fast cavalry and the bats movements to swing around the flanks. I have realised that because the demon army is immune to psychology, I've basically spent 180 points on 2 banshees that just look pretty. But yeah, everything else is going to just sweep across the middle. We're about to go into turn 2. I suspect a load of carnage is about to be unleashed. Join us after turn 2, and I'll let you know how we get on. Okay, so end of turn 2. Really going to start to pile together the middle. I'm cunningly enfolding the army in the welcoming arms of my vampire counts. I've got the bats and the vampire lord swooping around the back. The flesh hounds were about 1.5 inches out for their charge. The demonettes were far more unfortunate. They were maybe 3 millimeters out of the charge range, but still.
Touch the movement base, I'll take that.
There was no magic cast during the demon turn because he wanted to try and keep hold of the flaming sword of Rune. I dispelled the flaming sword of Rune, so you'll presumably recast it next turn. I did try a charge. Got my banshees are going to do something. I tried a charge on the Nurglings. The banshee went over, swatted a series of kind of magical demonic flies that were buzzing in her face, and were then just dragged down to the ground by the Nurglings without causing any harm to them. The ghouls didn't do any harm to the Demon Prince this turn, so he remains on 4 wounds. Meanwhile, over here, killed one of the flesh hounds, lost 5 skeletons, but one of the flesh hounds did then pop due to instability, so we'll see how we can go on, carrying on.
I've lost frenzy on them.
Yeah, no frenzy anymore as well, so you're down to 4 attacks next turn. That'll be a big difference. We're going into Demon's turn 3. We will find out how we get on. Catch you in a bit. Fucking demons! Okay, so
it's nice to be appreciated.
Yes, the ghouls were charged in the flank by the Nurglings, lost combat, ran away, and were run down. This is clearly the MVP here, is actually the Nurglings for the Demon Army.
That's 40 points to the list.
Yeah, the Plague Bearers are finally pretty much out of the woods. I charged into the Plague Toads with the bats, bounced off the Beasts of Nurgle, which I had hoped I might get at least a few wounds on there, but no, it didn't happen. The Flesh Hounds, at least, have been finished off by the Banshee, who actually came in and killed 2 of them. It was pretty awesome. The Vampire is still positioning himself, taunting those Blood Crushers over there, trying to find the ideal position.
I've got a unit of 3 holding up your lord. I'm fine with it.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah, we're going into Demon turn 4, so we will see how this goes. Catch you in a bit. Okay, end of turn 4, going into the last turn of the game then. The Skeletons finally finished off the Demonettes and have crashed into the back of the Plague Toads. They've They caused a wound, but in the end, it was combat resolution that at least finished off a toad. Over here, the Plague Bearers and the Bloodletters completely annihilated the zombies. The Vampire Lord and the Bats. The Demon Prince charged into the remaining unit of bats that were over there and killed them off. Their friends, the Vampire Lord, swooping in for revenge. It was a tense combat. My first attacks with the Vampire Lord, I completely missed. With all 6 attacks, they missed. Thankfully for Hatred, at least I managed to get 2 hits through. I think below the odds, but still, causing a wound on the Demon Prince. Demon Prince caused 2 wounds back on the Vampire Lord, but luckily he regenerated both of them. We've managed to get the Demon Prince down to 1 wound, thanks to combat res, as we're going into turn 5. It's anyone's game to play for. Okay, so turn 5, final turn. The Skeletons and the Vampire Lord finally finished off the Toad. Before he fought the last of the Toads, though, the Vampire Lord fought against the Demon Prince in an epic throwdown of doom. It could have honestly gone either way. I mean, in terms of the Vampire Lord, through all of his attacks against the Demon Prince, found that he couldn't quite get those extra hits and wounds through. The Demon Prince likewise smashed into the Vampire Lord, but the Vampire Lord's regen held him strong. In the end, it was combat resolution that took away the Demon Prince's final wound, killing off the Demon Prince General, allowing the Vampire Lord to rampage over here. Perhaps the fight I'm tempted to just keep fighting to see who would win is the Direwolves versus the Nurglings with their pesky demonic flies, who I think quite possibly should be the Demon's man of the match, just in terms of how annoying they have been. But yeah, major victory for the Vampire Counts in the end, just 545 victory points more than the Demons. That makes me move into the next round, where apparently I'm playing Chaos Dwarves. I'm going to go and find out who can kill the Nurglings or the Direwolves. Catch you in a bit.
How did it go then, Ben?
Surprisingly good. I was a little bit unsure about tactics on this, but I decided to discover how manoeuvrable an undead army could be, and it was surprisingly manoeuvrable. The zombies and the skeletons kind of crept forward down the middle of the board, but the ghosts and the wolves and the bats swept around the flanks, getting around behind the demon army. The skeletons and the zombies did a good job of kind of holding up the middle ground, and I kept the spirit hosts over here in the graveyard on the basis that pretty much everything in the demon army could kill them. So I thought it was most appropriate just leave the ghosts haunting a graveyard, and if nothing came near this quarter, then maybe they could claim 100 victory points for holding the quarter, which would be decent, points for them. At the very least, I wouldn't be giving away nearly 200 victory points worth of stuff. But the bats and the wolves kind of flying around the flanks meant that I was able to catch the table quarter over near you. I prevented the Nurglings from claiming the table quarter over here. The bats challenged that quarter over here, but crucially also gave the Vampire Lord, when he fought against other stuff, that extra unit size to outnumber, to give them the extra combat res they needed to basically win the battle for me. I didn't get the Vampire Lord into combat until I think turn 4, so he spent basically most of the game, or he only spent 2 turns of the game in combat, but it's why he's entirely unscathed. Whereas the Demon Prince that was kind of throwing itself into different units and skirmishing up with stuff, picked up a wound here, a wound there, so that he was weakened by the point the Vampire Lord fought it out with him. Yeah, I'm really pleased with how the tactics went on that. I will see how they do against Chaos Dwarves, who've got artillery.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay, so game 2, like I promised, Chaos Dwarves, using the Ravening Hordes list, albeit with the addition of a Hell Cannon. We just direct the camera over there, give a quick look. Chaos Dwarves have set up. It's a pitched battle game, so we've got Chaos Dwarves bunkered up around the hill, except for one lone bolt thrower hiding out all the way on the flank over there, hoping presumably for some enfilading shots. I set up my ridiculous flying circus Strigoi army across the width of the board. We're going to go to the Chaos Dwarf first turn in a minute. We will see how things go. I got all the spells that I wanted for my undead, so that's pretty good. On the other hand, the Chaos Dwarves do have the Flaming Sword of Rune. Again, so once again I am beset by flaming swords. Law of Fire. Apparently it's my nemesis. Okay, let's get cracking. Okay, so end of turn 1. The Chaos armies kind of, as you can see, move forward a little bit. There were some Wolf Riders over here, but they are no more. There was some reasonably accurate guess range firing from the Earthshaker Cannon and the Rocket Battery. Fortunately, the Earthshaker Cannon scattered just out of range and wasn't able to slow anything down. The Rocket Battery rolled a misfire, but also a hit on the scattered dice, which means instead of misfiring, it lands here and then fires off in a random direction. Ended up just missing the ghouls. The whole of the undead army has swarmed forward again, trying to kind of circle around the flanks of the Chaos Army. The Wolf Riders, as I mentioned, got screamed at by the Banshee, panicked, fled, and crashed into the Bats unit and died. The unit over here lost one model, so not quite as effective. The main thing that was a problem for me this time round was the magic phase. I seem to just be like 1 or 2 points out for every spell I tried to cast. So, we're going into Chaos Turn 2 now. I'm probably going to get shot at lots. Catch you in a bit. Brief interlude. Combat between the Vampire Lord and the Dwarven General. Chaos Dwarven General. He had 4 attacks, who all hit. That's strength 6 against toughness 5, and he rolled.
Bad times.
Shall I do my attacks back, Lee?
I got them out.
Oh, you got your mount? Okay, I spoke too soon. Okay, let's keep filming. Go for it.
Taurus, 4 attacks. Hit, weapon skill 5s. Hits on 4s. 2 hits. Also strength 6.
3's to wounds. You
Oh!
better make this up!
You've still got 3 dispel dice.
Bum.
Okay, 6 attacks back from the vampire. Just gathered myself 6 little dice.
All 6.
Weapon skill
6 dice on them.
8, so hit on 3s. Hit you, so reroll.
Yep.
Yes.
Which is probably good because that's a miss and that's a miss.
Well, I think you should try it. That would be my advice.
Toughness of your dwarf.
You typed in the rider, yep.
Yeah.
Toughness 5.
Strength 5. So I hit with 5 attacks, 4 to wounds. 4 wounds. Save. -2.
So he has a 3-up save and a 5-up bun.
Okay, so 3 up goes to a 5 up.
Fails them all.
And 5 up
5
bun.
bun.
I'm hoping.
He passes all 3. Takes a wound.
The only thing I can do
So he's down to 2.
But
we
he
go.
loses by 1.
Yeah, it's just 1 wound. I've got higher unit strength. I've got higher unit strength. So I outnumber you.
There's not going to be a thing there.
Tight combat.
Oh, yeah, tight combat then. Okay, combat will continue. Okay, so editor, you saw that brief interlude where the Chaos Dwarf Lord charged into the Vampire Lord. Things did not go quite as Lee had got planned. The end of the Vampire turn 2 then, the Chaos Dwarf Lord is left on 1 wound. The Vampire is still unscratched. The sneaking Yits that were here were charged by the ghouls, pinned up against the wall here and destroyed. The zombies have magically charged into combat with the Chaos Dwarfs and done absolutely nothing to them. The Ghosts, meanwhile, and the Banshee have killed off a whole rank worth of the blunderbusters, and perhaps most importantly, down the back here, the Bats, Bats and the Wolves have seen off 3 out of 4 of the Chaos Dwarf war machines. We're going into turn 3. We'll see how things progress for the Chaos Dwarfs from here.
I think I win on 3 ranks.
I cannot believe I was this stupid.
That's 5.
I was winning. I was winning so well. I killed the unit over there, and all he had left were the 2 units of Chaos Dwarfs and the BSB. Ran everything else off the board.
Okay.
I got cocky. I charged the vampire into the battle standard bearer, neglecting to realise that because the battle standard bearer was in combat with the zombies, the combat resolution from this combat that's not here anymore would also affect him. 10 wounds he took from that combat resolution, probably causing his undead ticker to cark
Yeah,
it.
it's better that way around.
And yeah, now I'm going to have to desperately see how much of my army I can hang on to. Oh, I cannot believe I was that stupid. Let me know in the comments below how stupid I was. We're about to... Okay, so we played the last 2 turns through, and then we do a final recap. I managed to get the hardcore Chaos Dwarf unit that had killed my general in a pincer move between the Fellbats and the vampires and skeletons. Some bad rolling by Lee's dwarves meant that I won the combat, outran them, and ran them down. Final manoeuvres of the game, this unit just got stopped over here to claim the tower and this quarter. Meanwhile, the Fellbats flew over here at a last-ditch quick res to one of the Fellbats, put them back at the point where they could score this quarter. All that was left of the Chaos Dwarf army at the end of the day is this unit of Chaos Dwarfs. The battle standard bearer charged into the vampire thrall, killed the vampire thrall, and was then probably screamed to death by the Banshee, who then herself disappeared due to vampiric instability due to my general being dead. End result, 1,615 victory points for Lee, 2,150 victory points for the vampire. So it's another major victory. But I still cannot believe I killed my vampire. I'm so sorry, Obadiah, wherever you are. I have no idea who I'm playing in the 3rd and final game, which is kind of a capture the high ground scenario that Lee's invented. I will let you know as soon as we get to it. Catch you in a bit. Hello, right, well, final game and an unexpected treat. I am playing against Mike from my Tale of Four Gamers, Skaven. If you pan the camera down now and just scan along the battle line, we are playing a kind of version of Capture the High Ground, except we're aiming to capture this graveyard in the middle, presumably because the undead want to raise the dead that are there, and there's probably a huge chunk of warpstone or something buried in one of the crypts. But yeah, it's 18 inches apart to start. We're about to dice to see who gets the first turn in a minute. I'm facing 11 casting dice worth of Warp Lightning with Ikit Claw. Anyone who's just watched my most recent Tale of Four Gamers video will probably have seen me offering Mike advice on how best to use this Skaven army. I am now thoroughly regretting it. Unless, of course, I win this game, in which case it was a carefully laid trap. Okay, let's dice for the first turn, and then we'll catch up after the first turn and see how we get on. So I get a +1 to this, because I finished deploying first. Mike got a 4. I got a 3, which is a 4, so we roll again.
Obvious question.
Mike gets a
I'm
3.
saying this is like a
I get a 1, which is a 2. Mike, would you like to go first or second?
I think I'm going to go first.
Funny that. Okay, right, catch up with us after the first turn. Okay, it's fair to say that I've weathered the first turn. I've lost a couple of wolves and some spirit hosts. And at least I managed to put back the zombie losses that I suffered in the centre here. Yeah, the whole Skaven army came sweeping forwards. And except for pretty much the Jezzails shot the warped spirit hosts. And also, no, the Jezzails shot a dog, in fact. They shot one dog.
They shot one dog and themselves.
Yeah, so I've killed, I think the Skaven have killed more of their own army than I have at the moment, nearly. The Doom Wheels came trundling over this way. I have charged one of them with a ghoul, taken a wound off it, but lost 2 ghouls in the progress. The Bat Swarms are now fighting against the Dire Wolves in the middle. The Globadiers that were on the flank at the very least ran away and were ran down by the Fellbats that were swooping across, but I did suffer a miscast with my Vampire Lord on the very last spell that I was casting, which has cost him a wound. I did not, unfortunately, scream the Warp Fire Thrower to death in the middle, as I was hoping. I have hopefully stalled the middle of the Skaven line here, though, for a little while with the Spirit Hosts, but I am worried that the rest of the Skaven army is just going to come rolling forwards. It's turn 2. We will see how we do. Catch you shortly. Right, end of turn 2, and it is literally carnage in the centre here. The Skaven, the Vampires and the Banshee have swept through one unit on the flank, kind of trying to roll up this way. The Skeletons are engaged in combat here. The Zombies are engaged in combat here. We haven't been able to fit them physically through this bit of the scenery to match them in, so they're actually there. The Banshee took almost all of the shooting and magic that the Skaven had, but it got rid of the Banshee in the middle here. The Ghouls have wiped out one Doom Wheel. The other one's on 3 wounds.
It took out some bats in return.
It has demolished one of the units of bats. Those units of bats charged the Jezzail using Van Hell's Dance Macabre, did no damage to the Jezzails whatsoever, and then lost a wound and lost therefore 1 by combat res. We're going into turn 3. It is still all to play for. The undead are holding the Skaven out of the graveyard for now, but we'll see whether that continues. Catch up after turn 3. It's utter carnage in the centre here. I mean, who knew if you told 2 armies with almost unexhaustible numbers to fight over the centre ground that you'd end up with just a mass melee? The Skeletons and the Vampires have killed off another unit of Skaven, but these swarms are continuing to prove extremely frustrating to deal with. The Clan Rats and Ikit Claw and the Clan Rats with the Warlock Engineer have finished off the Zombies unit. It's still all to play for. Oh, the Ghouls. The Ghouls got run down by the Doom Wheel and the Skaven pursued. I guess they kind of...
And the man of the match.
The Jezzail, having been set on fire by the Warp Fire Thrower, finished off the remaining Fellbat and is now poised to shoot the Vampire Thrall. Yeah, it's anyone's game still as we go into the final round. Catch us after this.
So, last round, everything died. Actually, that's a lie. Not everything died.
A lot of death.
There was a lot of death. Skaven got wiped out as vampires came rampaging through, chasing them away.
Yeah.
But the swarms just kept eating the skeletons.
Seriously mad at the back. And they ate the Necromancer.
Yeah. And then Ikit Claw just sat at the other side waiting for an attack. And claims victory.
Clearly, if Ickit had come out of the unit to walk Lightning the Vampire Lord, then I could have attacked Ickit and cost you like 480 points or whatever, which is why you didn't do it.
Yes.
The final scores on the doors for this were the plus 300 victory points for claiming the centre gave Mike a major victory, 1,580 victory points to my 945. So yeah, major victory to the Skaven, which is your third win of the day, I think.
It's my first major victory after 2 massacres.
I suspect, we'll find out from Lee in a few minutes, I suspect you may have carried the entire event. We shall see.
Cool. Right. Results stuff are in. Loads of big scoring massacre stuff, which is hilarious. I'll do a little rundown of who's placed where in a second, but I'm going to start with the painting award.
Thank you. I didn't even apply.
There was a good spread of votes across various armies for everyone that put their army forward painting, which is good. Always good to see. And this time around there was a clear winner though, which is quite nice. And that was Jack, the phenomenal blue thing. So every single one of you laser cut trophies. So that's that one. Right, placings. I'm gonna. We want top down, bottom upwards. Let's do bottom upwards.
Do you say the wooden spoon till last, or you going to do the very...
I'm going to do wooden
Wooden
spoon
spoon last.
No, the wooden spoon now, and I'll build up to first place.
Okay.
No one cares about first. I want
So wooden spoon, as is our new tradition here as well, wooden spoon at any event gets to name a item in the venue that belongs to the club. So you can have a little think about that one. With a total of sort of 0 points scored of the tournament point things we're doing for the massacre and major victory things, with 3 receiving end massacres. Tom. Have a little think about which of the venue things you're going to name after yourself. So previously we have the Jerome Cross hobby table, which is my work desk. The fridge has been named, the top table has been named. So then I'll sort of speed up through the placings. So from bottom upwards, we've got Ethan, then Jack, then Ben Camp, then myself, then Ben May, then Michael, hi Alf Michael, then Matt Bolton. So then, I mean, you can probably work out where we are by now. Second place, pretty decent double massacre and some minor loss, but still pulling second out of it. Gear.
Woo!
Absolutely not rigged.
It was rigged, I'd have won it.
You misspelled my name.
That's close enough. And first place with a fairly solid, clean sweep with the rats. Right. There you go. Congrats. Yeah, congrats. There we are, cool, thanks for coming along. I mentioned earlier on, we might do another one in like 6 months' time. It depends how Old World takes with everyone or not. When Old World drops, we're going to do like a gaming day rather than a tournament thing of like club day and all just come down and figure out what the hell. If everyone vibes with it, it'll be an Old World thing instead. If people still want to play Sick, we'll do that.
If there's enough interest, we can do a bigger final farewell to Sixth tournament as well.
Yeah.
Because we did discuss that as well.
But we'll see.
Feel free to join the Discord and just let us know and make fun of me there.
Thanks everyone for coming along. Make sure you got club stickers down there. And cool, yeah, give the club pages a follow on Eventbrite and all that jazz for any of our many events. Thanks everyone.
Thank you, Lee.
Thank you, Lee, for organising it. Get out my club.
Massacre losses.
This is the penance you pay for having brought so many clan rats that you won, Mike. You have to pack up 10,000 clan rats.
There's only 100 and several.
Congratulations on your victory. How did it feel?
Great. It was fun, and that was, I think, the most important part. I've enjoyed every game. I think my opponents enjoyed every game, even though 2 of them were a massacre. And the last one it wasn't a massacre.
It wasn't.
Did you enjoy it?
I had a lot of fun. I mean, at the end of the day, stuff like the Warpfire Thrower setting fire to the Jezzails just because is always fun.
It was getting rid of the bats. It was helping.
Bat infestation. I wanted to ask, I know you said you were learning 6th. Is this your first ever games of 6th edition, or did you play 6th back in the day?
I played 6th back in the day.
Okay, so it's relearning 6th.
Yes, I'm trying to work out what the difference is between 6th and 5th. Yeah.
It would seem slightly different spells and otherwise just as destructive.
I was going to say magic's toned down, but my army proved otherwise. Yeah, Warp Lightning is horrific. It just kills everything. Including Dragon Princes last game.
Yeah.
They didn't appreciate it.
Burninating the Dragon Princes. Cool. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you check the description below, you'll find the link to Bristol Gaming Collective. And if you're ever in the Bristol area, pop on by. It's a great venue to come on down and game. I'm going to throw a link to Lee's Mediocre Modeller painting thread on there as well. So give him a look up. He does some amazing commission painting. Thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you next time. Bye for now.